in downtown Cleveland, Ohio. Right down the street is APBA Offshore Boat Racing. What's not to love about a city that loves rock and roll and loves racing?
We rule the sea.
Bumpy and crazy.
It's kind of like, NASCAR in the water.
You'll probably get the brass knocked out, obviously.
It's the 2002 APBA Offshore Pro Series presented by Mercury, where the racing never stopped. The Cleveland Offshore Grand Prix. Hello everyone, welcome to Cleveland, Ohio, a city located on the southern banks of Lake Erie and a city steeped in maritime tradition. We're ready for round 5 of the APBA Offshore Pro Series. And joining me with the play-by-play, we've got a man who is a former world champion as a throttleman inside the cockpit of these boats, Martin Sanborn. And Martin, this is a freshwater course. This is also a lake, so a lot of people are thinking right off the bat, we've got high speed and we've got flat water. I'd go with a high speed, but watch out for that water.
It'd be a real dangerous assumption to figure out that this is going to be calm water. Lake Erie, as anybody knows that's boated on it, can get incredibly rough. A lot of these guys would rather race in the ocean because the ocean has some sort of consistency and a rhythm to it. The thing about the Great Lakes is this big water comes from everywhere and it can come out of nowhere.
Well, we have Factory 1 racing coming up, but first we're going to talk about some kilo runs because some records were set here on the river in Cleveland. Let's go down to the pits and Jamie.
Thanks, Dick. 15 boats are attempting to break world speed records today. Some of those boats will attempt to break the record in which they currently hold. Will Cleveland be the place records get broken? Let's take a look and find out.
Well, we start right out with one of the fastest boats in the fleet, Martin. This is Tommy Bahama. This is the Nemshoff family. Mark and Paul Nemshoff, father and son.
They're trying to recap and beat a record that they set in Savannah, Georgia, and they did indeed do it. 136.975 miles an hour in Cleveland.
Now we're going to change class. This was a look at the money shot run, and these guys, boy, that boat is just riding perfectly.
Absolutely stuck to the water. You can see they've got it hung just right. Very little contact from the middle of the boat back, but that's what makes it fast, and they set the record at 116.334.
Money shot going into the world record column. Next up, it's Dirty Duck, and this was another world record run. This time, Slug Hepner, the driver, Alvin Heathman on the throttles. A solid run, that engine just humming along beautifully, 115.338 miles per hour.
They had a great day, the MTIs, between Dirty Duck and Tommy Bahama, both setting records.
And here we have another record run. This is Stay Alive. Now, this boat is our one design class. They're all owned by Rindell Powerboats. They lease them out at every race site. It's great fun for those who are just getting into it. And there's an average speed of 71.358 miles per hour for the world record.
On to Factory 2, 35 feet and above. Speedware F255, Lance Henderson and Todd Welling also set a record in Savannah, Georgia, came up to Cleveland to put the record out of reach, and they did that at just over 92 miles an hour.
And Martin had a chance to talk with both the driver and throttleman.
All right, I'm here with Todd Welling and Lance Henderson out of F255 that knocked out a kilo record yesterday in Factory 2, 35 feet and over. I got a special place in my heart in this boat because I used to run this boat, and this guy right here took my seat with my former partner, Todd Welling. Now, Todd, I know you set the record in Savannah, and you bumped it up over 90 miles an hour, which is a big deal. You came up here because you kind of wanted to put it out of reach. 92 miles an hour, that's strong.
It was a hard thing coming. We ended up testing on Wednesday. We needed another set of props. Bronson Propeller FedExed another set of props up here. We never tested with them. Put them on Friday morning, ran. Look at the number, 92.28.
That's strong. Now, you're no stranger to running fast, having run over 142, so I know that you're like that. Now, Lance, tell me, now, I know how it feels in that seat. You and I talked a lot while I was running this boat when we were racing in Factory 2. You were running another Factory 2 boat as well. How do you like getting over in this boat now?
It's awesome. What an awesome team, an awesome piece of equipment. I've got the best. I'm very blessed with the team I've got. Todd's just incredible. The preparation is unbelievable.
I'm still jealous. I really am. But congratulations, 92 miles an hour. I think that's going to be pretty tough to beat for the Factory 2 in the 35-foot and over category. You guys have got a great-looking boat as usual and knocking it out in Cleveland. That's fantastic.
It rocks, to put it mildly, and we've got more coming up as the Factory 1s are taking to the water. Stay with us. F1 Racing, Factory 1 has really got the attention of everybody that's watching from the shoreline, because so far that class has been as tight as you can imagine.
It's an incredibly competitive class. We've had a number of winners all year long, but you know, the real showing is in the point standing on the national race.
That's right, national points are what count, and that's where the battle is on, and Jamie has that story.
With 4 races down, just 1 point separates Typhoon Racing from Activator and Flashwave. There's just 3 races left, and with the championship on the line, consistency will pay off. Or maybe not. Here's what a couple of our competitors had to say about today's race. I'm standing with Glenn and Randy from Team Typhoon. Big day for you guys. First off, only 1 point down from the leader's circle. What's it going to take to win here today?
Well, we know we're 1 point down. We don't like being in second place anywhere. We're here to win, and we did our homework. We're pretty confident we're going to give them a run for their money, and there's nothing like winning. And like I said, we don't like being in second, so we're going to take it to them. What
do you guys think about Lake Erie? Is it going to play on your side today? How do you think the weather is going to be a factor?
Well, initially, we really like the rough water, but the flags are laying kind of low right now, so it's really going to be a drag race today. But we're looking forward to it, and we're up to the challenge.
Here with David and Jim from Team Flashwave. Guys, your race is coming up. Right now, you're tied in the points with Activator. What's it going to take to beat them today?
A lot of speed, and I'm hoping we got it. We're going to give them all we got, and Jim's going to just floor it, and we're just going to leave it there the whole race and hope it turns out for the best.
You thinking the same thing?
Oh, we're going to hammer the throttle today, and if we can get it to just pick up a little bit out there, Activator's got to run for their money today.
Well, everybody's going to be hoping it picks up a little bit. Right now, the course is a little bit calm, but the one thing about Cleveland, we have a very long race course that is half inside the breakwater. This segment right here is all inside the breakwater. They make almost a U-turn and run on the outside of the breakwater, coming up to a slight right-hand turn, the only one on the race course, and then the lefts to take you back inside the harbor. So setup on these boats, very important between rough and smooth water.
And we should point out these are very equal boats.
Yes, the factory class, 24 to 30 feet in length, all identical HP 500 sealed Mercury engines, and here's one of the boats to watch, Typhoon Racing.
And as you'll see right there, Typhoon Racing trails the leaders by just 1 point. Flashwave and Activator at 390 points lead the field. It is going to be tight racing from the green flag. And as we look now, the boats are lining up. They are trying to get the line off of the pace boat. As they come down, the yellow flag is up. It'll be replaced by a green flag when the official starter on the pace boat feels ready.
All right, get up, get up. Get up. Go, 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 go. Let's go.
Well, that's obviously the green flag, and you were on board High Energy Racing, Mike McCarley and Mark Kowalski. They're in a battle with Mutual Fun right now and a bunch of other boats, Mike Connolly and Bill Kingery aboard the Mutual Fun boat. These are 2 boats from Ohio that are battling for the lead on the outside, but look at the rest of the pack right up on them.
And we look off to the outside, Team BRE moving to the lead, and right alongside him, Team Typhoon Racing in second place.
Now remember, you heard in the pre-show about Glenn Murray and Randy Sluice sitting 1 point behind the leaders, who are tied at 390 points in this class. Typhoon Racing, the F-129, trying to come up on it. Now you're on board Typhoon Racing, and these guys very confident. They are trying to find all the speed they can to move that boat into the lead. They're getting a bit of a ride, though.
It's a little bumpier than it looks out there as they run through the wake, but there's the boat they're trying to catch, Team BRE in the lead.
Still, the battle is on. And here's the High Energy team.
Hang on, hang on.
Mike McCarley and Mark Kowalski, they're just trying to find their place on the course and hold it, because that pack is still very solid.
When you look over your shoulder and you see all those boats coming, it just makes you think you don't want to make a mistake. And right alongside them, they've got the Mutual Fun boat, but they're also watching Typhoon Racing and Team BRE running away.
Wait, Mark. We're going across now. All right. Keep it in. Okay, Prop goes back here. They're going to try to get us on the inside, so I'm going to cut a prop that way.
One time you look to the outside, you got competition. You look to the inside, you got competition. You've got to keep your eyes peeled.
Start moving over a little bit, Mike. Squeeze them out.
There's the strategy. They're talking about moving over, squeezing him out of that turn. We like to call that slamming the door, and that's what he's prepared to do right now. But there's your leader, Team BRE. He's getting ready to make that left-hand turn and go out into the main body of the lake. This will be their first time out in the rough water. Let's see how rough it really is.
And they better be prepared for it. We're back on board High Energy.
Keep it in, 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 keep it in. Go, go.
They got through the turn in fine style, as all the boats are doing at this point. They're heading to the rough water. Team BRE is your leader. They've got clean water ahead. We'll be back with more racing from Cleveland in a moment. For stops, Team BRE now in the lead. Back in third place, trying to move up on the inside, is the High Energy team.
Good job, Mark. All right, let's get them.
Easier said than done, but they're going to try to move up on the inside of the Mutual Fund team. These are two Ohio boats, and they are taking advantage of hometown knowledge on these waters.
See the buoy, Mike? I got it, buddy. All right. We'll push him out once we go on that buoy. Take it over the inside on that one. I don't give a fuck. Doesn't mess with that tight one.
They're talking about how to set up for that next turn, because as you see, High Energy's coming up on the outside. He is on the outside of this particular turn because there's a right turn coming up. But if you look at the transom of the yellow boat, that is High Energy. You can see that trim tab is all the way up. That means he's looking for every little bit of speed he can. It's smooth water out there. They don't have to worry about setting the trim on the boat. They're just going for every bit of brute speed they can. But he wants a good line for this little sweeping right-hand turn.
Martin, a great example of how equal these boats are. It all comes down to the driver and throttleman. The throttleman is the guy setting that trim, along with setting the throttle on the boat. They have to know these boats and how they're going to react in these waters, try to figure out what's going to be best and how they can get the maximum amount of speed. These guys are showing tremendous endurance in these boats.
Beautiful, beautiful, dude.
Sometimes they luck out and they actually like what they're doing.
There you go, deck to deck racing. Absolutely fantastic. Look at these guys running along. They're running at 75 to 80 miles an hour, deck to deck, as they make their sweeping right-hand turn. But now High Energy has the good line for the left-hand turn to go back into the harbor, but back to our leader.
They are having a great race also. They are absolutely trimming that boat to perfection. They have not diminished that lead at all. They are holding off second and third place. That is where the battle is, second and third place at the moment. It is High Energy Racing trying to take second place away from Mutual Fund.
There's the buoy, Mike. I got it. Keep it in, Mark. Keep it in, keep it in, keep it in. Keep it in. Keep it in, keep it in. We're good, we're good. Keep it in, Mark. Go, go, go. Gotta go through them faster, Mark. Tighten it up, Mike, for that buoy there. I got it.
Both of those guys looking to get the max out of that boat.
There you heard the driver yelling over at Mark, I got it. Stay into the throttles, because right on his hip, he's got Mutual Fund.
Here's your leader, BRE, as they come back into the cut now, and now they know they're going to have smooth water. And here you can see High Energy Racing also coming into the cut right behind them.
We're going to have to really air it out on this pedal, Mark, buddy. Let's keep this speed up for the turn. Hang on tight in these corners, because we could spin it. I'm being good, buddy.
Boy, that is exactly what happened to them in Savannah. Also, as we recall, they spun out hard enough that Mark Kowalski rattled heads with Mike, knocked him out almost running the boat. The boat hooked so hard going around the turn. There they picked a good line right on the inside of him. He has Mutual Fund, but right on his tail was Propco.
They have got to watch out for the other boats coming through. They've got a good run now, and they have taken over second place in High Energy.
All right, short course, straight line, baby. Give her all we got. Wind it up, wind it up. Wind her straight up.
Now they've got confidence working in their favor, but they've still got a ways to go to catch BRE Racing. And they don't have just that battle. They still have to be aware they've got a boat sitting on their outside that's trying to close in.
Mutual Fun making a strong run. This is the best these guys have ever run, and what a place to do it, right in front of the hometown crowd.
So in second and third place, you have got a battle with Ohio boats, but the leader out in front and now through the cut is Team BRE. We're back to Cleveland and up on the APBA 2002 Offshore Pro Series, presented by Mercury Racing, where the race never stops. And it certainly hasn't stopped for Team Buffamante in Team BRE.
Buffamante family out leading from the start of this race, running flawlessly in their Warlock right now in first place.
Second place, the high energy team of Mike McCarley and Mark Kowalski.
Hey, Mike, fade to your right. Popco's coming up over there. Let's see if we can stay in this corner.
Still the strategy goes on. It is not easy holding on to second place. They know darn right well they have a lot of competition in that field.
Easy. We're good.
Oh, there we see Propco behind them, moving to the inside.
Come on, keep it up. You're good. Oh, they got us in the corner, Mark. Let's go. Keep it up. Let's go. Line it up. Line it up.
Well, the they're talking about is Propco. They made that move from the outside to the inside, cut off some distance, but here you get a chance to see the high energy team carried momentum.
We're going to get shoved out here. They're on the side of us.
The high energy team is Mike McCarley and Mark Kowalski. The H2O Motorsports Propco Propellers team, Mike Milligan and Lance Henriksen. They're the white boat on the inside.
You get a chance to look at the bottoms of those boats. You see the step. That's right where the forward part of the water is touching all the way back to the transom. That's exactly how a step bottom boat is supposed to be run.
Good turn by that Mark. We got to drop off and hook him behind them underneath.
They're constantly in conversation on these boats as they try to figure out how they can possibly outsmart the boat on the inside. In this case, it's H2O Motorsports Propco Propellers. And what a battle they've got, and now High Energy's trying to close down a little bit on him if he can.
High Energy was talking about trying to do exactly the same thing to Propco that Propco did to them on the last turn, but they ended up going a little bit wider, carrying their speed as they head back to the outbound leg on the outside of the seawall.
And you can see that Propco takes a little bit of a bounce. Back on board, High Energy Racing. They're trying to close the gap.
Let's go get him. Damn. Let's go get him, Mark.
High Energy Racing now getting loose in the water.
Oh, a little bit of chine walking going on there, and you can see that it has changed water conditions since the last time on the outside.
We constantly point out to people when they're watching any kind of powerboat racing that water changes constantly. You have to always be looking ahead. You have to try to get a rhythm on the throttles to keep that boat so it doesn't blow an engine. You can see everything coming together perfectly on this boat, Team BRE. They are leading this race as they come back into the cut. Now Propco Propellers is right behind him as you look at the leader, Team BRE, coming in front of the crowd. There you see the second place boat. They are now trying to close him down, take advantage of that water inside the cut. Third place is Mike McCarley and Mark Kowalski. They are riding High Energy.
That boat, yep. Inside or outside? Let's go inside.
They're talking about coming up on lap traffic. They're talking about a bad boat making the decision whether they're going to take that boat to the inside of the turn or the outside. There you see the bat boat they're talking about, one of the One Design boats.
That damn boat! Look at this.
Oh, obviously a little bit upset with the Rendell One Design boat pushing them to the inside. They had to cut a little bit more than they wanted, lost a little bit of ground to this boat.
There you see Mutual Fun. That's one of the Ohio boats riding in second place currently, doing a good job, but just trying to hold on to it because on the inside of them, they've got High Energy, and High Energy Racing has not backed off to give them any lead whatsoever. It has been a battle since the green flag flew.
Now, one thing to look at right here as they make their way towards the extreme east end of the race course, High Energy Racing has the better line and the shorter line. Mutual Fun is in the lead right now, but he has to come all the way across the race course, about 7 lanes of traffic. It's going to make it a little bit harder for him to carry speed through the turn. However, he is in a good position to sweep that turn depending on when he gets there.
Factory 1 Racing is setting the pace here in Cleveland, Ohio, and the fans are loving it. We'll be back with more racing in just a moment. Offshore Grand Prix, a beautiful day for racing, and it's great racing from the green flag. Team BRE in the lead, Propco now in second, Mutual Fun in third place. Meanwhile, back in fifth, it's the team of Glenn Murray and Randy Schluss in Typhoon Racing, the F-129. They are very attuned to where they are and what they're going to have to do.
You're going to get a chance to see them running that boat as they go through the turn, hopping a little bit, jumping from side to side. Driver's got his hands full of throttle and trying to keep the tabs into position to let the boat set where it needs to do. That's a rough ride.
That's the Typhoon Racing team, Glenn Murray and Randy Schluss, and there you can see they are trying to move up on High Energy. They're trying to take away another position if they can. They're flying the front of the boat high out of the water.
Well, let's go get him. Watch out, Randy's on the other side. All right.
Well, they just spotted him, and they realize now that they've got a boat coming up on the outside. They are going to try to push it a little bit harder, and this is where it gets dicey.
Here we are back to our leader, Team BRE. The Buffamontes out in front in F-144.
They're having a near-perfect ride out there. So far, they haven't had any contention, and we've got a boat down.
Look, they're slowing down.
Well, they spotted it. They have now moved up a position. That was Mutual Fun that was running so beautifully out there and had good position on the field, and now are sitting on the sidelines.
Boy, that is the best run that Mike Connolly and Bill Kingerly have had. Whoa, as we watch the guys in Typhoon get sideways.
That's where you have to hold on to everything you can and get your eyes back in focus. No question.
Put the glasses back on after that one.
This is a battle. High Energy still maintaining just a slight lead. Typhoon trying to come up on the outside. They have the advantage of more speed on the outside around the turns, but the shorter course goes to the inside.
I'd stay on the inside.
High Energy Racing, Mike McCarley and Mark Kowalski, they are having a good race, but the best of the racing goes to Team BRE. There you see High Energy from above still trying to hold on.
And you have Glenn Murray and Randy Schluss. They're on the outside. They're trying to set themselves up for a sweep because we're on the final lap. They want to kind of try to dive in. If you can't be right on that inside line, your best line is to be just to the outside so you can control the turn. And there's the checkered flag as they make their way into the cut for the final lap.
Everybody knows it's going to be over as the lead boat passes by. Here comes Team BRE. Congratulations to Team Buffamonte. They did a great job of driving from start to finish. No contest for them. They had the boat set up perfectly. Everything went their way today. Let's face it, Martin, there are those days.
You know, they just never seem to come often enough when you're a race driver. You love to have those days when everything works perfect. The equipment's flawless. You have a great run start to finish. These guys were in clean water all day.
Here's second place, Propco Propellers, H2O Motorsports, Michael Milligan and Lance Henriksen. Again, a good setup on the boat. They had to fight for their position, came from back in the pack, did a solid job of overtaking the competition and getting second place.
On to fourth place, this is Typhoon Racing. He's still a little bit to the outside of High Energy. You can see the wake of High Energy there. He's waiting for his opportunity. There you see he's signaling to dive in behind. We watched High Energy get whacked on this exact same move earlier in the race.
He's on us now, so just keep on the outside. We ain't gonna take the long way around. He's gonna get us. He ain't gonna get us. This is the last lap.
Boy, famous last words. You got to be careful. They're watching as they come into the cut, but Typhoon Racing is trying to set himself up. If they were paying attention earlier, they've been watching how High Energy takes those turns.
And look at Typhoon Racing as he comes on from the outside. A solid job. You can see him off to the left side of your screen as you look on the headshot. for high energy
Oh, there he goes, cut right across to the backside. He now has moved himself into third place.
Now we're on board that boat, Typhoon.
Go, go, go! Come on, baby. Come on! Get your head down!
They're trying everything to get that win. Look at how they're leaning forward in Typhoon Racing. There you see it. Fourth place is going to go to High Energy, and third place goes to Glenn Murray and Randy Schluss in Typhoon, and they did a tremendous job holding off the competition, moving up in the pack. They are happy, and deservedly so. This will have an impact on the high point standing. Well, here's the way they finished in today's race. We have F2 racing on the horizon. It's coming up after the Offshore Pro Series presented by Mercury Racing, where the race never stops. Typhoon Racing, Glenn Murray and Randy Schluss, they find out they have taken third place. They are very, very happy with that. It's time for the Mercury moment. Mercury moment of this race came on the last turn when Typhoon Racing made a brilliant move, diving to the inside to beat High Energy to the line for a third place finish. And right there you can see Typhoon cutting to the inside. At that point, High Energy thought they would have him, but they didn't. Typhoon had the speed on the inside and managed to take third place, dropping High Energy back to fourth. Congratulations to Randy Schluss and Glenn Murray. Back in the pit area, the Team BRE, the family team of Bufamonte, are very happy with their first place finish.
Yeah, baby! First win.
And there you heard it. Their first win, and that Warlock will get a lot of pats.
We did it! Team VRE taking home the first win. Tell me about your race today, guys.
First pro race was awesome. The start was great. He got me on the throttle. We were going down 82, 83 miles an hour down the straightaway. We took the lead going into the first corner. Never looked back. It was great. Fantastic. He did a great job.
How are the conditions out there?
Got a little rough, I'll tell you on the backside, but I'll tell you, victoryoffshore.com, baby. First pro victory. Got rougher and rougher as the race went on. We said we are not going to lose this lead. No way in hell.
You guys going home to celebrate tonight?
We're going to celebrate all night, baby. All night long. Woo!
Team Propco boys, great day for you here in Cleveland. Tell us about your race.
Well, Lance and Mike were in the boat all day. I've been hurt all year, and they've been running real good. And the water was just really flat for us. And the other 25 Warlock had us by speed, but the guys did such a great job out there turning. That's the only way we could catch them. We were hoping for a little bit rougher water, but we didn't get it today, so we planned for a little rougher. It was smooth.
I have to ask you guys, last race, Savannah, what happened? We saw bodies out of the boat. Nobody was in your boat. Somebody went to the hospital. What exactly happened? Who was it?
It was David Caruth. He got injured, and Steve Westsinger. They're both okay right now. David had surgery last week on his leg, but okay, everything's going to be good. We expect Stevie back in the boat next race in Corpus Christi.
They're going to be happy to hear about this one, huh?
Oh yeah, it helped us get up to the points a little bit. We were losing some points, and this will help us get us back up to the points. We just got a bad start, but we were catching them at the end. We just didn't have enough time with us, so could have been a little rougher. We probably could have caught them. We had a good race, and I appreciate BC and Dave letting me ride the boat.
All right, second place finish. Propco, good job.
We want to say thanks to the #1 Warlock team, F144. They did a great job.
Thanks a lot.
A lot of time the difference in these boats is in the prop, the propeller. There's a science, a technology there. Martin Sanborn has a look at it.
Well, here we are with Tom Bucknell from Hydromotive Propellers, and you know, one of the big questions that everybody asks is, what does a propeller do? I mean, everybody talks about having a different set of wheels, which is the vernacular we use talking about the propellers, and in factory class racing in particular, propellers are everything. Tom, you see a huge variety of propellers here, and this is for a Factory 2 race team, in fact, the team that just set the kilo record with a set of your wheels. Why would they have so many different sets of propellers? I mean, I see 4 blades, 5 blades, I see a little bit different shapes. What are the differences in some of these propellers?
Well, first of all, from a racing perspective, one of the main differences, are we talking about a short course or a long course, or are we talking about calm water or rough water? If we're getting into races that are long and calm, we can go with a prop that would have more pitch for example, a 30-pitch propeller. On a short course in rough water, you want something with less pitch, which would be like low gear in your car. That would be about a 28 pitch, for example, and that accelerates better and handles better over rough water.
You're talking about different pitches. What exactly is pitch for the people that don't know what pitch is?
If we take a look at this particular propeller, this 5-blade, pitch is the actual angle of the blade. And the higher the angle, or the higher the pitch, the further the prop travels through the water as you rotate it. Theoretically, in a 30-pitch propeller, we should, Martin, get about 30 inches of travel in one revolution.
What kind of differences is there between a prop that is specifically set up for a racing application and one that a general high-performance boater is going to use?
We do three things to the prop. We may reduce the diameter of that propeller to settle the back end down a little bit, or we may increase the diameter with a larger diameter wheel to lift the tail end up even higher. Then we'll also thin the propeller blades, sharpen the leading edge to reduce what we call parasitic drag, fancy name for losing horsepower as the prop rotates through the water. Another thing we'll do is we'll adjust the cupping on the propeller. If we add more along the trailing edge, it tends to lift the tail. If we get rid of it at the trailing edge and put more at the tip, it tends to lift the nose. So we can fine-tune a given set of race propellers and dial it in precisely to the racer's application.
What kind of a performance increase can a general recreational boater see going from a set of his stock propellers that he gets that comes with his boat and going with a high-performance propeller that perhaps has a lab finish on it?
Generally speaking, you can pick up anywhere from 2 to 5 miles an hour by going to a stainless steel prop, particularly if you're going over from an aluminum to a stainless.
Well, as we say in offshore powerboat racing, you want to get every bit of power you can out of them, and he's talking about 3, 4, 5 miles an hour. I can tell you that these guys put money into these propellers to get half a mile an hour out of them. In a factory class race boat, a half a mile an hour over an 80-mile race course is a significant advantage, and it's money well spent because you can't put more horsepower in the boat. You got to do it with the propellers.
It's time for the Vortec Wake Zone. Standing by are Matt Rice and Mitch Miller of the Vortec-powered Utz Castaway team.
Hi, this is Matt Rice, and I'm with Mitch Miller, and we're with the Utz Castaway Super V Light twin boat, and we're running the GM Vortec motors.
We've raced factory classes for several years. This is our first year with Vortec's team, and actually we're really excited. We just came off a kilo record at 106.3 miles an hour, which was a big deal for the two of us, and we really feel like Vortec's had a big part of it. The support is something that Matt and I currently aren't used to having, and it's really been a big plus for us this year.
To be able to go out and run your motors for a whole season and not really have to worry about the motors going bad or having a problem, the support's there to jump in right away and fix any problem that you might have, and if they can't fix it, then they've got a backup motor to place in your boat, and you go out and race and don't really have to worry about your motors, and it's fantastic.
Well, here we are with Leo Schnell. He's the promotional specialist for inflatable images. I understand they're the world's largest manufacturer of cold air inflatable devices. You've seen these things everywhere from the Super Bowl to your backyard party for the kids playing in a bouncer. And we've got them all over the race site here. And we were fortunate enough to corral Leo to be one of the event producers on this. And I've had the opportunity to work with Leo putting this event together, but it wouldn't have happened without you. Leo, tell us a little bit about what these inflatable images do.
These are inflatable games for kids to have fun with and to be easily set up and easily taken down.
Now, APBA Offshore has partnered up with Inflatable Images, and we are using those tents on the series for the entire year. And you guys make some great tents, but you guys also make those huge inflatable images. I mean, you guys can pretty much take anything and turn it into an inflatable image, correct?
That's correct. Martin, I think we can even inflate your image.
Got him! Well, now the crowd gathered in Cleveland is ready to get on with some racing. The F2s, the Factory 2 teams, are on the water. We'll be back to Cleveland for the start of our race in a moment. Official sponsor of APBA Factory 2. There's the crowd gathered for the Cleveland Offshore Grand Prix. The girls of Hooters are on hand selling refreshments. Now, last night, Donzi Marine sponsored a bikini contest at Hooters in the Flats here in Cleveland, Ohio. Of course, Martin was there, as well as a number of race teams who served as judges.
APBA rocks!
It certainly does, and we're ready to rock right now in the shadow of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with Factory 2.
Factory 2 is an open cockpit version of the Factory 1 boat, twin engine configurations, HP 500 sealed engines with Bravo drives.
And you can see Team Donzi as they cut across the water. There's the outer limits as they line up the boats, and here's your national point standings. Team Donzi is leading with Herbot Racing for a Cure. Right behind him, and R&S Offshore Racing in third. They are going to line up. The green flag is flown. These boats, again, like the Factory ones we watched just a little earlier, are very equally matched. Again, it is going to come down to the throttleman and to the driver as to how you handle the boat. And at this point, as they go by the crowd on the front straightaway, Martin, all of those boats are aiming for one spot on the number one turn.
You know, the thing is, only one of those boats can go through that one spot. As we watch our leader right now, Harwich Concrete Block, they are out in the lead.
Marco Dugan is the driver. Chris Wickstrom is on the throttles. These guys have seen this boat get better and better through the year. They have raced in all sorts of water condition. Of course, they really loved it in Cape Cod because they're from that area.
Absolutely, but they've got some smooth water, which is what that little bit shorter boat likes. And here we have the second place boat right there, Speedware. That is the boat that set the speed record on Friday at a little over 92 miles an hour. Right alongside them, the local team, the Twisted Sticks. That is Bob Eubanks and Teresa Eubanks outrunning currently in third place.
Harwich Concrete Block, Pier 57, is out in the lead. Second place right now is Speedware. They're just trying to hold off the Twisted Sticks. That husband and wife team of Teresa and Bob Eubanks has been away from racing a little bit, trying to get back into it in their home area. The F219, R&S Offshore Racing, James Richardson and Jack Storley, they're on board a Formula boat. Now right behind them, two Donzis. On the outside, as you look at it, it's Snap-on Tools. On the inside, Team Donzi. Once again, we take a look at the Twisted Sticks boat, the Eubanks. They are riding back in third place, and R&S Offshore trying to catch them on the outside.
You know, Bob and Teresa Eubanks have a lot of experience running out here in Lake Erie. This is their own hometown waters. Under normal conditions, Lake Erie gets very rough, which is tough for these smaller boats. But the smaller boats, this is their water today. And here we see Team Donzi has moved ahead of Team Snap-on right now. They are currently in fifth place.
Might remind you, APBA Factory Class Racing is presented by Donzi Marine. And there you see Team Donzi, Doug Valentine and Mike Stancomb.
Oh, there we have an accident. It looks like R&S Marine came across and got the bow of the Twisted Sticks.
So the Eubanks team has pulled off. It looks like something may be hanging off the front end of that boat. Let's take a replay and see what happened.
Here it looks like R&S Marine came across the bow of the Twisted Sticks. Looks like they got just the bow, and they made an evasive maneuver, got themselves out of the way, but looks like they broke the very bow of the boat off.
So Bob and Teresa Eubanks will go to the sidelines, and there you see Speedware running in second place. That's Speedware Matco Tools boat. Now the battle for third is on with Team Donzi closest to you. On the outside, it is the number 19 R&S Offshore Racing.
You can see they've really got that boat strung out, standing it on its tail. They have their tabs up. They're trying to get as much speed as they can, but they cannot hold off that Donzi. The Donzi's out to get them.
Two 38-footers going side by side, trying to find all the speed they can. Donzi looks like they are dialed in. R&S Racing bouncing just a little bit out of the water. And the only bounce that Donzi took was going across that wake.
Well, it's a matter of the setup. That boat right now is running very well. They probably hit their prop selection right on, but you can't discount the formulas. They run very well. In fact, Formula One, the Mercury Constructors Championship last year. That is the battle between all the manufacturers in high points in factory class. There we currently have our second place boat, Matco Tools Speedware, but he's being chased down right now by Team Donzi, Mike Stancomb, and Douglas Valentine.
And it looks like Team Donzi has locked up third place. Back in fourth place, R&S Offshore Racing, and they are trying to catch it, but now it looks like Team Donzi has not only taken over third, they are now going to go into a battle for second place against Team Speedware Matco Tools. Look at them as they come in and cut across the wake, trying to get the inside, and that boat may have the advantage on the inside. He does. As you can see, Doug Valentine and Mike Stancomb have found the power. They've got the perfect setup. They are now trying to take over Speedway Matco Tools for second.
You know, we've seen that move several times today where the outside boat dives back across the line. They have now established what we call an overlap, It is now going to be up to Speedware to determine what they do as they come into the left-hand turn into the harbor. But I've ridden with Todd before. I would not be surprised to see Todd dive back across the wake again and perform exactly the same maneuver coming back into the harbor.
We'll see which boat wants to get to the outside as they leave this harbor. There you see Harwich Concrete. That's Marco Dugan, the driver, and Chris Wickstrom on the throttles. These are two guys out of the Massachusetts area. They love this kind of water. This is a little smoother than they're used to testing in, so they're just fine. And look at the battle going on behind them as Team Donzi tries to come up and take over second. They have done it. They have passed Speedware Matco Tools for second place. Let's see if they can hold it as they go outside the wall. We'll be back to Cleveland with more racing in just a moment. Stay with us. For the Cleveland Offshore Grand Prix, we're into Factory 2 Racing, sponsored by Formula Racing, the official sponsor of APBA Factory 2. And there you see the second place boat, the Team Donzi, driven by Doug Valentine and Mike Stancombe. They picked off third, they picked off second. Now, can they pick off the leader? That's what they're going to aim at next.
Well, you know, they're probably looking up ahead right now. This is a classic battle between the manufacturers. You've got a 35 Fountain out in the lead, traditionally a very, very fast boat in smooth water conditions. Here we have a 38 Donzi, very, very fast boat in rough water conditions. It's smooth water conditions today. They're probably not looking ahead thinking they're going to get him.
Uh-oh, wait a minute, hold it, Martin, look what happened.
Oh, tough break for Lance Henderson, Todd Wellen. Looks like they had a mechanical failure. They are off the race course right now in Matco Speedware.
Well, they had really been battling for it. There's no question about it. They had that battle for third place we talked about earlier. Here now in Factory 2 is your third place boat. And this is the R&S Offshore racing team of James Richardson and Jack Storley. They are very solid in third place and they seem content. Meanwhile, Harwich Concrete Block Racing, they have had a great race. Took the lead early on out of the pack, broke away and held on to it.
Here they come into the harbor right now. This is their final lap. As they stand right now, they should take the checkered flag.
A very happy time for this team, Harwich Concrete Pier 57. There you see the checkered flag waving. They see it now as they're coming down the straight. They will be happy as they cross this line. A great win for this team from Massachusetts, Marco Dugan and Chris Wickstrom, taking first place in the Factory 2 race. They had that boat dialed in today.
Absolutely was their water. They led from start to finish on the race. The boat ran fantastic all day long. And here comes your second place boat right now. Also ran phenomenally, but every time we talk to these guys, they hope for the rougher water. Doug Valentine, Michael Stancombe, second place in Team Donzi.
So Factory 2 Racing, everything it was billed to be, tight racing all around. There you see the winners, and there you see how the teams finished. Harwich Concrete Block was on top. We'll be back with more in a moment. The official stern drive of the Factory and Supercat Series, where the race never stops.
Factory 2 winners today.
Yeah, great. Third one this season. We needed it. We had two bad races. Morale was down. This helps us out a lot for the rest of the year.
Hey, Chris, you know, you were the Hooters judge last night. Did that help you today? Was luck on your side?
And I don't think that had anything to do with it. I think we are a good team that puts the boat together, Competitive Edge Marine. Mark does an incredible job driving this boat.
Hey, thanks.
And I just stay on those throttles, and this boat just runs, and she likes to run. And, you know, today you just got to see what it did. It did it. And it's a lot of fun. Everyone should be out here racing. Buy a boat. Come racing.
Team Donzi, consistency definitely paid off today. You guys didn't get the win, but you're still the series points leaders. Tell us about your race.
The Harwich Concrete 35 is just, this is his water today. We kind of saw it coming. That boat is absolutely lightning fast in this water. But we give them credit. They come a long way to race here as well as we did. Had a good showing, and we're very, very happy with second place. We're still first place in points. Team Donzi's boat, unbelievable as always. Consistency is everything. The boat extremely well prepared. Mike did an awesome job on throttles. And we're ready for Corpus.
So we put the wraps on the first day of racing here in Cleveland, Ohio, and it was a good day, Martin. A little bit surprising because the winds didn't pick up, but the speeds did.
Absolutely. I think the surprise of the day was if they went out testing yesterday, they saw a lot rougher conditions. The wind was really blowing, and it was blowing from the northeast. Today, the wind is coming from a little bit of the southwest. Total change. We saw a lot faster water than they were expecting.
And we've got even faster boats to go on our second day of racing from Cleveland, Ohio. We'll bring you that next time right here on Speed Channel, so plan to be with us. From Cleveland, Ohio, for Martin Sandberg.